Welcome to the Books, Music, and News Review Show. We are usually airing on Channel 34, Spectrum and Verizon, and we've been on air for 10 years in Staten Island and for a total of almost 20 years in New York State. So if you want information on the show, write to books.musicreview@gmail.com to reach the producers, and we'll answer your questions. So right now, we'll go back into the studio. We have a good show planned for you today. And let me make sure our mics are on. Our mics are on. Okay, let's go into the studio. Won't you be my neighbor? I'd like you to be my neighbor on television. So, watch the show. So I have a good show planned for today. It's a very serious topic, and I might just mention something that I mentioned on the last show. I said I would get back to that, and this is the time when we're going to get back to it. But let me put that on the screen. Hold on a second. Yeah, I keep saying hold on. I'm not on the phone, but hold on a second anyway. Okay, so hopefully you can see me, what's happening here. That in there, and that in there. You know what? I think I'll take a little example from Mr. Rogers, and not the full example, just a little example. I will not pray for 30 minutes, but I will read you something out of one of my favorite books. I have this really cool book. Oh, so first, according to Roger's explanations of language, I'm going to explain to you what I'm going to do. Yes, the show is for adults, it's not for children. So first thing I'm going to do is introduce our topic for the day, which is, as you can see on the screen, it's about bullying awareness, but it's about a whole lot of things. So I'm going to start off with one of my favorite books called Bible Promises. But as you can see, our message on the screen says, the only reason that bullies persist is because people don't tell. So keep on telling until someone hears. Keep on telling. Your gut instinct will tell you when it's time to stop telling. But there are others that finally stop being bullied, but they still tell because their experience will help others. Anyway, so the topic is bullying, and there was a very famous celebrity who actually won an Emmy who was bullied. See, the truth is, this show is going to be about adults who are bullied. We all know that kids are bullied and teenagers are bullied. This is about adults who are being bullied. And I can't say that we are not going to say anything that will be helpful, but tell you what, we'll share some interesting experience and things that we read, and we're going to start off with the Bible Promises because that's about the best hope for all survivors and victorious survivors or victims of violence and victims of bullying. There are promises in the Bible. And I'm going to open up to any page that has nothing to do with the topic, but just to start off, and I will put the page on the screen, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. So what it says here on page unnumbered, it has no numbers on these pages. Oh, I left the mic over there. I'm sure you're hearing me. I'll put it here. It says, the Lord will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. That's Psalm 9:9. And this is one that I really like. It says, no height nor depth nor any creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God which is in Jesus Christ our Lord. That's Romans 8:39. The Lord shall preserve thee from evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Psalms 121:7. And that's the truth. It's all the truth. Everything that's in the Bible is the truth. So that's from the book Bible Promises. Bible Promises. And if you didn't get your promises yet, well, keep on praying, keep on hoping, keep on believing, keep on praising the Lord Jesus Christ. It says here in this book, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And there's more and more and more good promises in here. But whoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well springing up into everlasting life. John 4:14. Okay, so that's that from the Promises book. And I'm going to tell you about a famous celebrity who was bullied. And I'm going to read those pages that I said I would get back to. This actually was in Life magazine. It says here, Rogers was a sensitive child. I hope that that's not on there. I think, is that disclaimer still on there? Let me go look. Hold on. I can't see the screen from here. The thing is, I'll have to take it off. No, it's not. That's just the bully. That's just the bully phrase. Okay. So Rogers was a sensitive child who was bullied by his peers. And as an adult, he tapped into that experience to help young viewers cope. He was a man on a mission. How do you like that? Mr. Rogers probably got into TV because he was being bullied. Well, according to Life magazine, Rogers was a sensitive child who was bullied by his peers. As an adult, he tapped into the experience to help young viewers cope. He was a man on a mission. And I'll show you that the words are right in the book, right there. Man on a mission. And there he is, Mr. Rogers. So imagine being bullied by your peers. Could there be anything worse? Yes, there could be. Of course, there could be something worse than that. I am not minimalizing the bullying that Rogers had. No. And I'm not comparing one bullying to another. I'm just sort of trying to segue into a different area, and that is, if you're bullied by your peers, okay, you could still go home and tell somebody you love, your parents, your grandparents, or someone. You could tell them what happened, and maybe they could help you conquer that bullying. But what if you're bullied by your own mother? What then? Who do you go home to? Who do you tell? What do you even think? So I'm thinking of a case that was in the news a couple of years ago, and the reason I'm thinking of it is because it just came out that the perpetrators, the persons who went to court over this, it was a family, and I'm not going to say their name, you know the story. There was 13, I believe it was 13 children who were held captive by their so-called parents. Yeah, their own mother and their own dad. They were held captive, and the hero of the story escaped. The youngest one was a tiny little baby, and I believe that baby's life was totally saved because of the hero of the story, the young girl, the teenager, who finally escaped and went and called the police. So I just heard that, I heard a few days ago, and I don't know how long ago this came out, but I just heard it a few days ago, that these two perps, the parents, who held these children prisoner, these bullies who were bullying children and adults, because the family consisted of a couple of adults that looked like kids, they were so malnourished. So these two perps are now in jail, and the sentence they received was 25 years to life. I don't know why they just can get straight life, but they got 25 years to life for bullying their own kids. So yeah, worse than being bullied by, no, I can't compare. I'm not going to compare. It could probably be just as bad. But it's pretty bad when your own mother bullies you and your own dad bullies you. That's pretty bad stuff. So we come to this show to do the show about bullying awareness, and to tell you that Mr. Rogers was bullied, yes, and that kind of led him to television. So the name of our show is Books, Music, and News Review. That's the name of our show. And our topic is going to be bullying awareness, or something along that line. So we've got 19 more minutes. Let's see what we can do to start some kind of a, oh, let me fix this. Hold on. You're watching, oh, I forgot the password. I'll have to remember the password, hold on. Oh, I hope you didn't see that. Was that on air? That's right, it was wrong. It was the wrong password, so it was on air. Maybe that was the right one. Okay, that's the right one. Never put your password on air. That's dumb. Yeah, I've been called dumb in my days. Okay, so the only reason that bullies persist is because people don't tell. Keep on telling. Or sometimes they persist because people tell and then they've told the wrong person. The person doesn't do anything or makes it worse. That's why. And you always wonder why the kids don't tell. Sometimes, you have that experience. You tell somebody who's not informed on the topic and they don't know what to do, or they do something dumb, or they do something worse. So you keep on telling till you tell the right person. That's what you do. So let's see what we've got here in our bully awareness. We're going to go here, we're going to go here, and then we're going to go right here. So, this is just a little bit of a slideshow that I prepared about bullying, about the topic of bullying. They keep on telling until someone hears you and the bullying stops. That's the whole idea. And this is totally irrelevant. It's about a microphone. It's kind of relevant because if you're being bullied and you have to be in the presence of someone, you can just have a recorder in your hand, visible, so you let everybody know you're recording. So when the person starts screaming or something like that, you just press record. Never keep bullying a secret, because that's what helps the bullies. Has your school or your senior center become a zoo? How does it become a zoo? If you have teachers in your school, educators, and they are bullying students, that makes it worse, because imagine being bullied at home and then you go to school and you're bullied by your teachers. Not good. This is going too fast. I think I want to make this a little bit slower, so let's click here and go here. Okay, we might start that over. That was going too fast. So you can blog if you're being bullied. Blog make it private to yourself. Get all your feelings out on paper or on a computer. Know that you're not alone. Know that you can do this. Know that you are smarter and stronger and more resilient than the bully. You are watching Books, Music, and News Review, produced through the facilities of Staten Island Community Television. That's a piece of artwork that I did. See, it's a little sign. So what do you think about free speech? Have you ever bullied someone because you wanted them to be quiet? Maybe because they didn't agree with you? What about what's happening in our country today? It seems like there's a lot of bullying going on in the political area. So if you tell somebody who you vote for, will you be bullied for that? This is not an absurd question. This is reality. Sometimes, well, here you go. I pray and I hope that if you're being bullied that you talk and keep on talking and keep sharing your story. Don't keep the secret for decades the way I kept the secret for decades. Talk. Oh yeah, by the way, I've been bullied and stalked and bullied and stalked and bullied for about 5.5 decades. Okay, get off the floor now. She said 5.5 decades. Yeah. How's it possible? You know what? You gotta tell someone. You have to come out and tell someone. And the only reason I say this, because I can't tell people to tell when I don't say anything. So, there you go. My brother killed himself. He did a number of years ago. And I can say that he probably was bullied for most of his life. So is bullying the whole problem in our society? People think maybe the problem is robbers and thieves and and rapists and all, but is it bullying? Does it start with bullying? If you're being bullied, I say to you, keep on keeping on. For me, I wish I had said this to my brother. I'm passing this message to you. That went too fast. I can't read it. It went off the screen. Look at this tomato. It's affected by invisible worms. The worms are inside. Some of the scars are visible. That's what happens when you get bullied. Your scars and the hurt and the pain is inside of you, and it's not visible to people. It may be visible in different ways, but not visible in a way where you can say, that person's being bullied. So if you're being bullied, tell. You don't have to tell the name. Just keep on blogging and keep on talking. And in this, decades. It's possible for a person to be bullied for decades. You know what? What I did was I just avoided, you tell people ignore a bully. Yes, ignore a bully, but keep on talking while you're ignoring them. Get away from them. Get out of your space, which they think is their space. I'm not saying quit school, but what if you are in school? How can you help somebody who's being bullied in school? Now, what about adults who are being bullied? Adults who are in college? What about adults who are in, here you go. I don't know if I can stop that. Let's see. Ignore the bully. Talk about it with somebody. That'll go back on the screen again. If you're in school, college, or even high school, college, or senior centers, there's a very simple way you can help somebody who's being bullied without even getting involved, without even asking any questions, without even getting into anybody's business. You can help someone who's being bullied. And it's a very simple thing, a very easy thing you can do. And if you do this, it is such a big relief to the person who's being bullied. And here's what you can do. If you're in school, in college, in a senior center or somewhere, you see somebody who's sitting alone, maybe somebody who's avoids people and all. You see someone who's sitting alone, invite them to sit with you. Yeah. Invite them to sit with you. You can actually help someone not quit school or not quit college or not quit a class by inviting them to sit with you, by giving them a buddy, Because a lot of times people will quit school or quit class, quit even senior classes because they feel so all alone because they don't want to tell, they're afraid to tell, or they've told and nobody did anything about it. So they feel so all alone, and so they're sitting alone, and you can help them by sitting with people who are alone. Invite them to your table. Invite them to sit with you. Invite them to come to class. Even though they don't need an invitation, it's their class and it's their table. They do. So that's how you can help somebody who's being bullied. And you don't have to know that they're being bullied. You can help anyone. Just help people who are alone. Yeah, somebody helped me like that. It's such a big relief. I was at a senior center, and I was avoiding certain classes, just avoiding them because you can go when you want. You go to this class, that class, art class, music class, or whatever. And I was just avoiding them because I didn't want to see the bully who would yell at me all the time. So I avoided the classes until somebody said, why don't you come to this class? Why don't you sit with me? Why don't you join us? And then I would, it felt so good knowing that somebody was being friendly to me. The only reason bullies persist is because people don't tell. Keep on telling until someone hears you and the bullying stops. Yes, I say that to you. I say it to myself. Number 4, blog about your experience. You can blog privately. If you don't trust anybody, call a hotline. You don't have to give them your name. Just call and speak to someone. And these opinions have nothing to do with the staff or management. That's why that popped up. And that's my own form of art. There's a little painting that I've done at the bottom. This is a highly recommended book, Free Us from Bullying. I don't know why every library doesn't have this book. I don't know why every school doesn't have this book. It's by Paul Coughlin, and the name of it is Free Us from Bullying, and it can save lives. I can tell you, it can save lives. It can help people get to school. It can do so many things. Just read it and get the information from it. What about political bullying? What about the teachers what about today, in today's political area? You've seen it online. This has nothing to do with what's on the screen. That's just the Protectors. Paul Coughlin, who wrote the book, has this organization called the Protectors. And they reach out to schools and organizations. And they try to stop bullying. And they're working pretty good, I'll tell you. Anyway, I got sidetracked by reading what was on the screen. Maybe I shouldn't read what's on the screen. Okay, so where was I? So you can help people who are being bullied by joining them, ask them to join you. Oh, this is good. I'll have to read that word for word because this is very good information from the book called Free Us from Bullying. This one isn't. This is the only reason bullies persist is because people don't tell or people don't listen to those who tell. Keep on telling. Someone hears you and the bullying stops. Just keep on telling. This is a lot of my photography that I've done. I've done scenics. I've done photojournalism, taking pictures of celebrities. This is just a picture from a book. It talks about, that what the Christians say, turn the other cheek. Very, very, very good information in that book. This has nothing to do with the book. This is a poster I made. So-called teachers who use their political agenda to silence students, those teachers are bullies. So we need to stop that political bullying now. So if there's any in your school, you can Google it and find out. All over the whole nation. The red hat bully thing? If you wear a red hat, you could get beat up, people jump you, and you're not allowed to wear, quote, a red hat. That's because of the Trump thing. Nobody wants anybody to wear the Trump hat. You guys that are doing that, you're just being bullies. Stop it. Nobody should be able to tell you what you should wear, and nobody should be able to tell you what you do politically when you want to vote or who you want to vote for. Don't bully people, because you want to know something? The victims of bullies and the people who are bullied, they are some of the strongest people that you will ever meet. You want to know something? Because just because they're being silent right now, it doesn't mean that they're just being like still water. Stop the bullying. Stop the nonsense. Stop. And if you think, say you are against the red hat, and say you're against the person that wears the red hat, that political party or whatever, say you are, think about this. If you have a teacher in your school or in your senior center, and that teacher takes it out on the students, if she finds out if the students have wanted to support, the red hat guy, think about this. Any teacher that will bully children or high school kids or who will bully adults in senior classes, any teacher that does that will bully somebody for any reason whatsoever. So you might be fine thinking, yeah, go for it and support that teacher, but nah. See, a bully is a bully is a bully is a bully. They will bully anybody at any time, anywhere, as long as they can do it secretly. They'll get you separate from a person and they'll bully you. So we need to stop the political agenda that's happening all across the whole United States. It's the red hat bully. We need to stop bullying people who choose to wear the red hat, and we need to stop bullying people who choose to support a particular candidate for president, even if you don't agree with them. And why turn the other cheek has nothing to do with schoolyard bullying. You got to read it in that book called Free Us from Bullying, because turn the other cheek has nothing at all to do with that. And there's a whole big, long explanation about it. So that's a good remedy for people who are being bullied. Go to the library, go to the bookstore. There's the book, Free Us from Bullying. Real solutions beyond being nice. If you go on the net and you find things about bullies, the first thing you see is they're being nice to the bully and they're being kind to the bully and they want to know what the bully's problem is. Give it up already. You know what? Let's deal with the person who's the victim first. Deal with the person who's a survivor first. And you'll worry about the bully later. There's another good book I highly recommend. It's called Do You by Ben Cohen. Inspiration and Encouragement. Bullied, Left Out. That's a great book by Ben Cohen. And it doesn't require a lot of reading. It's big print and it's like you can skim through it. So if you're being bullied or you know anybody who's bullied, you want to get them those books, The best way you can help everybody is get those books for your library, order them in the bookstores. They're not actually in the bookstores. You have to order them. But get them in the library. So the only reason a bully persists is because people don't tell. Have I been repeating that? Yeah. This is because most people don't tell on bullies, because most people who are bullied are afraid. But you bullies out there, you got to know something. That you're bullying some of the strongest people in the world, and you're not going to get away with it. Just look at that family of 13, and I will say their name. The Turpins, the Turpin adults who were the perps, just got put away for 25 years to life in prison for bullying their own children, all 13 of the children. So while you're out there, whether you're a teacher who's bullying someone, or whether you're in a senior center who's bullying someone, or whether you're in a high school, or whether you're in an elementary school and you're bullying your students, or whether you're in a job and you're a boss who's doing some bullying, know this, read my lips and look at my eyes and know that you are bullying some of the strongest people in the world, some of the smartest people in the world, and you are not getting away with it. They may have retreated into silence. They may have retreated into the comfort of their home. They may have left school. But know, your victims and your victorious survivors are some of the strongest, most brilliant people in the world. You've been watching the Books, Music, and News review show, and you can reach us at books.musicreview@gmail.com. And we love you to come and say your spiel on TV. Maybe you want to be a guest or audience. I think I'll go inside and, I think I'll shut this and go inside in 2 minutes. Oh, wait, my mic. Won't you be my neighbor? Remember, Mr. Rogers reached millions of people. Come on in. Millions of people by just using quiet words. And watch us on Saturdays, usually at 12:30. Come on in. 12:30, and Spectrum and Verizon, and look for us at other times. Oh, I just realized I commanded here, put that on. There you go, the opinions and views. We're looking through the produce through. There you go. So 1 minute and 22 seconds, and I must show you my flowers. Is one of the things that I do to heal is garden, and it's a winter garden, which looks terrible now, but I always have these pictures of beautiful flowers that really help. Produced through the facilities of Staten Island Community Television. And I hope you tune in again. You can see us online. And if you want all the online information, I have my beautiful pictures on Flickr and my beautiful pictures on some other places online. If you want to see my artwork, I've done over 60 art exhibits throughout the years. And yes, I did win honorable mention for black and white photography. So I may have been bullied, but I didn't really keep quiet, did I? Right now, I produce a television show, and I want to give you a voice if you're interested in speaking. Write to books.musicreview@gmail.com. And stop bullying those people in the red hats, because you know what? They're some of the strongest, smartest, most brilliant people ever.